We want you to have your say on the 2025 budget. But first, some budget facts to help you understand your town's budget pressures. When creating a municipal budget, there is a balancing act. We need to make sure our revenue matches our expenses, and we also need to ensure a good balance of services are provided. From the request for new parks and recreation amenities, repairs and maintenance of existing infrastructure, new programming for youth and seniors, festivals and events, more bylaw enforcement, there are a lot of requests and only so much money. There are a number of external pressures, which the municipality has limited ability to control. For example, certain essential service providers for garbage collection, recycling, and policing have contracts that have built-in increases. In 2025, the cost of policing in Kingsville is increasing by $383,000. This is the result of new wage increases being rolled out across the province for OPP officers, which amounts to a 1.6% local tax increase for every homeowner. External pressures also come from downloading services or the introduction of new regulations which municipalities are expected to enforce. For example, in 2025, the province is introducing a new building code which will include over 2,000 additions and revisions. The municipality is required by law to enforce these changes. When we talk about internal pressures, we're talking about things like sustainability of infrastructure and other major assets. Sure, we have some control over how much we set aside for lifecycle funding, but if you kick the can down the road too long, you end up in a bad position with very costly repairs. Kingsville has found itself in this position and has started to course correct. In 2013, we only spent $1.3 million of tax revenue on capital. In 2024, we spent $6.8 million on such items as critical infrastructure and facilities. We still have a ways to go to align what we have with what we need, but we're also cognizant of the impact on ratepayers and can't do it all at once. Another internal pressure is the expectation for increased service levels. There was a time when Kingsville didn't have a splash pad, pickleball courts, or paved trails. The community asked for more and better communication, more bylaw enforcement, and increased recreational programming. These things cost money, and while scaling back services is the budget pressure we have most control over, residents ask for these things for a reason, and they make our community a better place to live, work, and play. One last point about municipal budgets is that, unlike other levels of government, there is currently no built-in inflation protection. For example, when the costs of goods and services increase from inflation, HST is still 13%. So as prices go up, you're paying more taxes, but you don't notice it as much. When your income goes up, the federal government collects more income tax without needing to adjust their rates. For municipalities, it used to be that as property values went up, the municipality received an inflationary increase in taxes without having to raise the tax rate. But since 2021, the provincial government has frozen property value assessments, leaving municipalities with no choice but to raise the tax rate just to account for inflation alone. We hope this helps shed some light on some of the budget pressures facing your municipality as we embark on budgeting this year. Let us know what you think at haveyoursaykingsville.ca.